where the flowers bloom and the sunshine glows. There's normal gardens where the beauty grows. Every leaf tells a story, every seed takes flight. In the garden's heart, everything feels right. Es mamo, sing it to the sky. Whisper to the petals as the clouds drift by. Es mamo, let the green roots run, dancing with the daisies in the morning sun.
Hello everyone, welcome to Esmamo Gardens. Today I want to show you how to propagate snake plants. It is effortless, easy. You too can have this many snake plants in no time, and I'll show you how today. This one is the snake plants that I showed you the last video I did, snake plant propagation. So this is a follow-up. Cylindrica as well, easy to propagate from cuttings. All these plants came out of a leaf like this. Just a small cutting like this can make this many plants in no time. All of these plants came out of cuttings like this. This is my first propagation I made 2 years back, and this followed afterwards. So all of these plants are less than 2 years old. So you too can make many plants from a small piece of leaf. We're not going to take from these plants as we took cuttings from this plant before. I will link the video in the description below. Let's take a cutting from this plant here. Please remember to disinfect your pruners, your scissors, or your knife. It looked like that leaf was just barely hanging on, so we saved it. We might as well get the most out of it. Being careful not to be poked in the eye as I look for a leaf to cut. Here is our cuttings, making sure that we have several cuttings to ensure success. So even if 1 or 2 leaves don't make it, we have a chance of success. So what I'm doing here now is marking the leaves so I know which side is the top and which side is the bottom, so that I do not plant the other way around. So this is the top, I have marked it, and this is the bottom. This is where the roots will come out, and then the top is where it should face up. So now I know which side is the top, which side is the bottom. So now we need to leave our leaves to callus, to dry for a couple of hours or a day. Okay, so now I do have golden honey eye, but I don't normally like to take cuttings from variegated snake plants because they revert back to the original form. But I will take these two leaves that are already damaged so that I can show you that variegated leaves revert back to their original form. So our leaves have dried up overnight. I left them for a day. So callusing is just a strategy for a plant to reserve energy for survival. So once that plant hits the water or it hits the soil, it will grow root. It will send energy to growing roots to say, you know what, this is my chance to survive. Let me grow roots. So we either do it in soil or we either do it in water. So, but what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it in soil. I'm going to take these cuttings, place them in a vase. I can enjoy the aesthetic appeal while I wait for them to develop roots. Place your cutting somewhere with bright indirect light, and please replace your water regularly. This is the cuttings that I've took several weeks ago. You will start noticing roots 4 to 6 weeks of taking your cuttings. So you will notice small tiny roots at the beginning, but they will grow over time. You can then take your cuttings like this and place them directly into the soil, and they will grow pups from there. So they are ready to be potted into the soil. So, but we're going to put them back for a few more weeks to develop pups so that I can observe them as the pups come out. It's a slow process, so you need to be patient, but you will grow roots in no time. This other one here, the cuttings are 6 months old. And they already have developed pups. The offshoots right at the bottom of the stem where the roots come out. You can see right there at the end. And these pups already have developed their own roots. So it's a plant that is ready to be potted. How amazing is this plant? Low maintenance plant, resilient, air purification properties, the list goes on and on, not forgetting the spiritual benefit of this plant. And easy to propagate. One cutting can give you several pups at a time, offshoots at a time. Some are not ready yet, but some have grown pups. Oh, this one came off somewhere, but look at that, it's got its own roots, so we can plant this. This will be a full plant in a year or so. This cutting's got 3 offshoots on it. That is how I make my plant fuller, because of the offshoots that give me 3, 2, 4 at a time. I can then make a fuller plant in one go. And every offshoot is got its own individual root, so it's a plant by itself. This is a new leaf. You can see how there's nothing on it. The size of your cutting does not matter. You can have them long, you can have them short. It does not matter. And any part of this leaf/stem, it will develop roots. So you can have it cut right at the bottom or the top. It does not matter. It will develop roots. Another one broken. There's cuttings here in this vase. I have them a little bit longer, so you'll see that the offshoots or the pups have grown a little bit bigger. Because I have this in the room, what happens is that snake plant give off oxygen at night. It converts carbon dioxide into oxygen at night. So I have them in the bedroom. It'll just become a water plant, so the pups will be eventually become the size of the cuttings, and then they'll grow babies and so forth that until it becomes a food plant. So you can see how long this pup is. It's the size of the cutting, so you cannot even see which one is the cutting, which one is the offshoot. So that's how I want it to become. It will become one plant with cuttings, and then the cuttings will become offshoots will become cuttings, and it'll just be one huge plant in a vase. So when I have them upright like this, you cannot tell which one is which one. So eventually this entire cuttings in this vase will become like that. Beautiful, beautiful. But it does take some time, so you need to leave it alone. Just change the water regularly, leave it somewhere where it can receive bright light, and it will grow offshoots. But these offshoots are here for a couple of years, so they will take time for them to grow their size. So what I need to do is leave these cuttings alone in the vase until the rooting system become one. So it must become one ball of roots that I can always transplant later on into soil, and it will become one plant. So I need to leave it alone for a while. That is how I have my plants grow a little bit faster. I start with my offshoots in a very small tight pot. Once they have developed one rooting system, I then repot it into a bigger pot, let them fill up that pot, let them become root bound in that pot, and then repot it into a bigger pot, so forth and so forth. So that's how my snake plants grow faster and bigger in a short period of time. So whatever I made today, I would leave it until the roots become one. So each individual pups is got its own individual root, but they will all become one rooting system in a couple of months. And then I will repot it into a bigger pot and bigger pot, so forth and so forth. That is how this first snake plants that I made, it's so big and it's less than 2 years old. The same procedure, the same process happens with what will happen with soil. We take our cuttings, we leave them to callus, and then we place them in soil. So now let's check these cuttings in soil and see how the roots have developed. And what I love about cuttings in soil is that is their final destination. You do not have to transplant or move them anywhere. You just leave the cuttings in that soil, let them grow offshoots, let the offshoots fill up that pot, and it's a brand new plant without you having to move the cuttings anywhere. So that's what I love about cuttings in soil. That is the final destination. The cuttings look amazing. I don't see any rot, so I'm gonna put them back in here until they develop into a new plant by itself. So I'm not gonna disturb it anymore. So I'm happy with the roots. I don't see any rot. Just leave it back in here and it will become a new plant in no time. What I'm using for the cuttings is just a normal potting soil. Now we make a new plant. So what we're gonna do is leave the pup on the cutting, and eventually there will be more pups that will come out of that, but it will give an illusion of this being two leaves. So we're gonna leave the cutting on the pup on the cutting. And I'm using the smallest pot I have. I'm not sure how many centimeters or inches it is, but it's very small. So the plant will only come out of this pot until it's root bound. And just like that, you have yourself a new snake plant. There we go. How beautiful is that? Eventually the pup will outgrow the cutting and more babies will come, and will be a fuller one root system in a couple of months, and then I can always repot the plant. So now what we need to do is water the cuttings. Please make sure that you have the soil moist, not soggy. It mustn't be sitting in water, the cuttings will rot. It must just be moist, somewhere with bright indirect light, and it must be warm. I'm going to show you here plants that have variegation. What happens is that when you do cuttings from stems that have variegation, they revert back. So this is the cuttings that I did, and the pups, the offshoots that came out, reverted back. But cylindrica gives you true to plant. So this is the cuttings from cylindrica, and they have developed roots. It's the same process. Cut, leave the cutting to callus, put it in water or in soil, and you will have cylindrica plants. But cylindrica plants are a little bit slow growing, so you have to just be patient with it. Especially when you have it in soil, you'll wait and wait and wait and wait, but it does eventually give you pups or offshoots. So the same process here. This one is done in soil. So take cuttings, put them in soil after they dry, and eventually you will have offshoots, and they will be true to form, true to mother plant. They won't change back or revert back. So cylindrica does give you the stay true to plant. So this is the golden honey eye. It reverts back, so it does not stay variegated. The other way for you to propagate this plant is by division. So what you can do is divide this plant. Take the offshoots, place them in another pot, and you will have a new plant. Same as the moonshine, is by division. So you take the plant, the one of the plant, and then just separate it and put it in a separate pot, and you'll have a brand new plant. So I have noticed that the moonshine does very well with division. So these are the babies from this mother plant here. So this is the mother of all of these babies. So I did separate it from this one. All of them, they come from this one in the gray container, this one here. After I separated this from here, this now gives me more pups. Look at that, in a period of 4 months. And now, after she was separated from these pups, she then gave me another pup, another offshoot, another plant later on. So I separated her from the other one, and I got this baby growing from her in 4 months. So she does very well with division. They might need space to expand, but I'm gonna leave it in here for another few more months until the roots are well developed, because I did a video where I divided this plant not long ago. I will link it below. So I need to leave it in here a little bit longer before I report it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and I will see you soon.